This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 127 of the Healthy Critters Radio on the Horse Radio Network. Critters Radio is brought to you by Biostar US. Find them online at biostarus.com.
On today's show, we tackle the high cost of small animal veterinary medicine. The breed of the show is the papillon. In critter nutrition, we focus on medicinal mushrooms for horses and dogs. And in Coffee Klatch, we match famous musicians with their perfect pet. Listen in. I'm Tigger.
I'm Patty.
And I'm Coach Jen. I'm here to direct this here circus. And thanks for tuning in to Healthy Critters Radio once again, where we get to sit down and geek out on all things healthy and critter. Yes, we deal with healthy attitudes, healthy personalities, healthy bodies, and a little bit of craziness. So
have to have the crazy.
Have to have the craziness. And at this point in the show, each and every time, we have a little chit chat just to get warmed up, get the vocal cords warmed up. And this time around, it was Patty's turn to choose the topic. And it's usually a topic that's just at the forefront of our little brain the moment we sit down and record the show and go, oh my God, we got to have something on the chit chat. So what's at the forefront of your brain right now, Patty?
Well, hair. Lots of hair.
Give me a head with hair. Give me hair.
Well, it's funny. So, and this is just I train horses for a living. I'm a trainer. So every day of my life, I'm surrounded by dogs and horses. And I have my baby horse. I didn't clip this year. Not that I clipped him last year, but him and an older horse, I didn't clip them. And, I'm in Weatherford, Texas, and we have seasons here, but the winter doesn't last long, but it does get cold. I have, but our horses are just shedding like crazy. And it's, the days are definitely getting longer. So that's part of it. But it sort of took me by surprise this year because I have two horses that aren't clipped and lots of hair. And I was just wondering what you guys, what some of I've seen so many cool things like on Facebook ads and, shedding blades. And I'm from the old school of, I like to curry it out. And I don't know if you guys remember those they had little leather handles, but it was like
of course,
metal blade.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love them. But they weren't great for sensitive horses. But I still have one of those, and then you could loop it back through its little handle thing. Do you remember that, Tigger?
Yes,
I do. Yes, I do.
I love it. So, okay, Jen, do you deal with hair?
Yes, and this year, this is the first time I did not clip either of our horses over the winter. Usually they get clipped. Okay. Scooter, because he is closely related to the grizzly bear and lives in Florida. Mm-hmm. So he usually gets clipped.
Yak.
And he's a yak. And Nigel, the thoroughbred, usually gets clipped because in the wintertime he gets worked hard enough that his winter coat is just tough to deal with. So I clip him. Not this year. COVID just changed everything.
Yes.
And if you're listening to this show in 2025, just type in COVID in the search bar and you'll know what we're talking about. So neither got clipped. And I was actually, Scooter, the pony, he's a Hackney pony, is actually starting to shed out already. And generally speaking, he holds on to his hair pretty long. And he is starting to shed already. So not in giant amounts, which is good because it's been unusually chilly here. Yeah, they're starting to shed, the both of them. Yeah, there's hair flying.
So what do you do? Like, do you curry? Do you bathe? What's your go-to?
My go-to, like you, back in the day, I was in love with the old school shedding blade, but I have moved on. And actually, I just today, how about that? Is that coincident or what? Ordered 2 new curry combs. Okay. From Epona, and one of them, the hair brushes you can get for ladies with really thick hair that have a kind of a rubbery base to it, and then the fingers stick out. It's like a hairbrush.
Yeah.
Well, Epona makes that, except it's in the shape of a curry comb. It's in that that oval shape, but it's got wooden teeth on it. So it's got wooden sturdy teeth that are slippery enough for the hair to fall out to clean the brush, but they're in a rubberized base so they conform to the nooks and crannies of the horse. I just ordered one of those, and I'm very, very excited about that, because this past couple of weeks since the shedding started, because it was available and there, I grabbed one of the horse's hair brushes, which are like a lady's hairbrush. It's got the teeth and they're kind of flexible. Mm-hmm. And I just zinged over Nigel really quick with it one day because I needed to get the dirt off of him in a hurry. And I looked at it and went, hey, that works pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, it was impossible to get the hair back out of it because it wasn't designed for that. But I'm kind of liking the whole brush thing. It's called, Epona makes one, and it's called the wood curry brush. There you go.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I just looked it up. And it's really cool. It looks like a little porcupine.
It does. Porcupine is a perfect description. Yeah. It's a porcupine curry.
Okay. Yeah. That is super cool. Okay. Cool. Okay. So you're definitely thumbs up on that.
Yeah, I'm a curry gal. Yeah.
All right, Tiggs. I know you don't have to generally do anything with your guys. Well, because they're all they're fields. But back in the day, what was your go-to besides clipping? That was always my go-to. I just clip. Yeah.
Clip, or just let them shed out and roll on the ground and rub up against trees, and use a shedding blade if I was really
desperate.
Yeah. But, the horses that I didn't clip, I wasn't riding. So
right.
It just wasn't that big a deal. But if I was going to work a horse, it was going to be clipped.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why it was unusual for me this year that I didn't do these two. And it was just for whatever reason. But I wonder if they even still make those metal blades that we used to. I don't even know what they would be called. The ones that we used back in the day.
The shedding blade.
But I still have, shedding blade. Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. So if any of our listeners have any great ideas for shedding or things that they use, let us know on our Facebook page, Healthy Critters Radio.
Dun, dun, dun. There we go.
Dun, dun.
So here we are at Roundtable, and we're going to discuss the high cost of small animal veterinary medicine. And I say this partly prompted by a post Jen had on Facebook several weeks ago, and that I just recently got a vet bill for kind of the same thing, which was to do a culture. And it was just under $300.
Oh my God.
And I went, what? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's not a biopsy, just a culture, a tissue culture. So, of course, I paid it. And then I started asking myself, well, what does somebody do who maybe is out of work? What does somebody do that, is living on a fixed income? And so I'm opening it up for the broader question. So I started, looking up for some articles and about why veterinary medicine in small animal has gone up 40-50% since even 2008, 2009. Big jump. And in the articles that I read, some of this is due to the debt load that veterinary schools put on veterinary students.
Yeah, vet school is just crazy, stupid, expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you've got vets graduating from vet school, going into practice, and they've got this huge debt, $100,000 or more. So that's part of it. Some of the recent modalities, some vet clinics have CAT scans, and that equipment is expensive, and it's expensive to maintain. But it's very interesting to me, the rise in what we're charged for small animal care.
So those are factors. Those are factors, of course. So let me So you have the cost of doing business, which is the ability to earn enough because you have to pay back your debts.
Yep.
You have to pay your employees because there are 50 million employees in any given practice now. Then you have to pay for the facility.
Yep. Rent and space and
etc.
Electric. Yep.
But then it's much harder to find information on what things actually cost for small animal veterinary supplies versus horses, because you can't do anything yourself for small animal veterinary. You can't give your own shots. There's not a lot you can do, at least in my experience. There's other people maybe out there who have a very different experience. Versus with horses, because they're considered livestock, a great many people can take care of a great many things that are required annual regular things themselves.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. And I think that might be one of the factors in that that's
a very good point.
You've kind of got a captive audience. What are you going to do? Your dog has to get the vaccine. If the veterinarian puts a markup of 500% on that vaccine, what other option do you have?
Right. You
don't. Versus large animal, a lot of things, the market keeps those prices much lower because if the vet puts a giant markup on it, you can get it yourself. Right?
Yeah.
And so I think that is one of the significant factors. I just looked it up, and a vaccine that retails, this is a retail operation, for $16 cost me $40 at the vet. So that's a significant markup. But that vet also has to pay for the facility and the 15 different vet techs that are there and the receptionist and the online system for payment and the online system for setting an appointment. All that stuff costs money.
What I wanted to correlate with this rise in cost of taking care of a small animal is the rise in insurance. So a lot of vet clinics sell or advise, or you can fill out a form to get pet insurance.
Yes, health insurance for your pet. That's all the rage now. Yes.
And that health insurance for pets is just exploding.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that I know a lot of people are doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's been a good thing.
Yeah, I think it certainly is good for catastrophic. If your dog gets hit by a car or has to have, surgery. I mean, just to do a cruciate ligament is like $3,000, $4,000.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
But there are also some, tricky parts to pet insurance. I would really like to see the small animal vet industry kind of put their heads together, because somebody who's on a fixed income isn't going to be able to afford $500 a year in insurance on their
and you're going to spend $500 a year on annual vaccines. You're going to spend $500 on the vaccines and the checkup, and by the time the dog is 5 years old, they're going to insist on various and sundry tests. So you're going to spend $500 a year regardless.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money for a lot of people.
A lot.
Yeah.
And so now we have the beloved pet that is going to suffer more health issues. And there was an article that I read when I was sort of researching this, and I think it was in Texas, that a group of veterinarians got together and decided to host a, really low cost spay neuter, and which is great. But the other veterinarians in the area got mad at them.
Jeez.
Because they felt that they were taking away their income.
Yeah, probably not. I don't suspect that someone who is a regular client at a vet clinic, not someone who goes to the vet because the animal has an issue that needs to be taken care of now, but somebody who's a regular client at the vet, they get their dog checked out every year. Yep. They go through all those things that the Veterinary Association recommends. That client is a lot less likely to go to something like that because he's looking for the service.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's a really good point.
I think you're looking at two different kinds of customer there. And the dog we have now, Pickles, is the first one we've had that we have taken to the vet, to a clinic with a veterinarian and a receptionist and the whole schmagega for vaccines, because we had to get it done then and there and now because we were in a time crunch. All of our other dogs, we always took to the low-cost vaccine clinics that they have at pet stores and tack shops and agricultural stores of all sorts. They have them everywhere. And that's where we would take our dogs for their vaccines, because instead of spending $350 on the vaccines, we could spend $75 on our vaccines.
Big difference.
Big difference. And, that money can sit in an account and be used when the dog decides to consume a work glove, which is something our dog did.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, and I think cultural pressures are enormous nowadays, and social media adds to that. There's a finite amount of money to spend.
Right.
Yep.
Not everybody can say, "Oh gosh, my dog has a torn cruciate ligament. $3,000 is a lot of money. Oh, just put it on a credit card." That is not an option for everybody.
Nope.
It is not.
And there, I want to address the cultural pressure, because at least where I am in Virginia, if you have to go to the emergency vet, if you don't have a regular vet, they'll still treat you, but they treat you with I'm not even going to say it's disdain, but it's a guilt.
Oh, that's terrible.
But it's not overt.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean you don't have a regular veterinarian?
Yeah, you're right. It's very subtle. You're right.
This as somebody who observed it.
Yeah.
In an emergency vet. And I felt terrible. It was an old couple with their old poodle. And, they couldn't remember when the vaccinations were done. And, I think they went to Tractor Supply, and had it on a Tractor Supply, rabies.
Vaccine day, yeah.
Yeah. And it was awful to watch. And I don't think the small animal veterinary group used to be this, you have to bring your dog in every year for a happy dog check. That just didn't used to be the norm.
No, I agree, yeah.
You just brought your dog in for a vaccination and that was it. And it was much more laid back and much less, you have to bring your dog in or you're not a good dog owner. Which is what they're kind of saying.
There's a lot of that being sold to us as pet owners. Yes. Now, and it's very interesting you say that, because when we first got Pickles did get to go to the emergency vet on a weekend, on a Sunday night.
Oh,
first time we ever had to do that. That was fun too. And we went to the University of Florida emergency vet because it's right down the street. It's what's local here. And I must say my experience was very positive in that everybody I came in contact with was extremely helpful, very upbeat, very pleasant. We had just gotten her. We didn't know. All I had was like a piece of paper that said she got these shots when she got fixed. I really didn't know much about her. And we didn't have a regular vet. We had gotten her like 3 days before that. And they were very supportive in that I appeared pretty clueless. And 5 dogs got checked in. Well, 4 dogs and a cat got checked in the 45 minutes I was there. It was a very busy night. And universally, they were very, I'm looking for the right word. They were very pleasant. It didn't feel judgy. It didn't feel like, because I can totally see that conversation going on in my head that you witnessed. They were not judgy, but I have not had that same experience when I go to regular vet clinics. Because if you don't get when they offer, do you want fries with that? And you say, no, thank you. There's a very much an underlying, what do you mean you don't want that?
If you don't want all the vaccinations.
Yeah.
If you don't want all the meds, meaning, if you don't, we sell heartworm and when you have Aussies, you're very careful with ivermectin.
Yeah.
You don't want to be giving that. And so, and what are you using for heartworm? And I always feel like it's really none of your business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my reaction.
Yeah.
Because I realize that heartworm medicine particularly is a big moneymaker.
Yes.
You walk in for your, and you get your monthly, or you show up every month and you pick up your prescription for it or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's a moneymaker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because as we know, as horse people, ivermectin is a very, very inexpensive drug.
Very inexpensive.
$3.99 for enough to do a horse. So for what a dog would get was probably 15 cents, But you're right. The flea and tick products and the heartworm products, big bucks. Sure.
And the scare factor.
Yes.
I really, and a couple of times, and not with my now new vet, but I've been with other vets that, what are you feeding? I feed raw or I feed home cooked. And it's like, then now they're trying to give me a lecture, on why I need to be on Royal Canin kibble.
Yeah.
Instead of just honoring my choice as an owner, and I will say as an educated owner.
Yes.
Right.
They didn't take the time to develop a relationship, because you feeding a raw or home cooked diet is going to have a very different result than me doing it.
Sorry.
But as the veterinarian, because they use at least the American version of human medicine, they use the same model. You actually see the veterinarian, your dog actually sees the veterinarian or your cat for about 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Therefore, there's no relationship. Therefore, it's all prepackaged, one size fits all. We ask these questions. We tick the boxes next.
Yep. The vet practice that I left to go to this new vet, on my third or fourth Aussie puppy. And I've been a regular client, right? This is like my fourth puppy. The vet walks in and starts giving me her standard new puppy owner lecture.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? She goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And there's always that patronizing element, like, we know more than you. I get it that you went to vet school, and I absolutely value that. And I need your expertise, but I am not an idiot.
Yeah.
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 And so my message to all small animal veterinarians is, I really appreciate what you know and the lives that you can save. But I do think that the small animal veterinary industry needs to address the problems of animals that are dearly loved by those who are unemployed or on a fixed income, senior citizens, because these are part of the family.
Right.
And they could live longer, and their humans could deal with stress better if their animals are healthier, and we need a way to do that.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well, and we need a way to respect the client.
Yeah, big time.
Because it's not just that. The amount of stress involved, a young couple who has a dog, they've got themselves a little golden doodle and 2.5 children.
Yeah.
Again, the pressure of, I go in for my dog's annual setup. Does that family really need to spend $350 or $1,500 or whatever it is?
No.
Or is that just add-ons that a dog could be perfectly happy and healthy without, but it helps to pad your bottom line, either because you want to or you need to. Sometimes you maybe need to pad the bottom line of the vet clinic. I don't know. But re-examine your motives a little bit.
And maybe we need to take it even further back to the vet schools.
Yeah.
If you're putting these vets into such serious debt,
then
you're contributing to the problem.
Good point.
Oh, absolutely.
Good point. Deep, tough stuff. Deep, tough stuff. I think, after a deep and tough and difficult conversation like that, we need to talk to a talking Pomeranian.
Oh, absolutely. It's time for Hedwig.
Hello.
Hi, Hetty.
Hello, everyone. Is everyone well? Are we all feeling good about life?
Absolutely.
Totally
you don't know how funny that statement is.
Yeah.
Well, I do probably, but okay.
Well, I wanted to ask you from your point of view what it's been like to host a camp for 2 Australian shepherds at your farm.
Well, I mean, it is a great reflection of my generosity, I think, that I have permitted this. One thing to consider is that I do love Sobby. I've loved him a very long time. He's an excellent friend, and I'm always very proud to see my night and to celebrate his extreme cuteness. So that's no problem. Keen is, young and disobedient, but I think in time he could grow to be a better dog. For example, he's tall and could be used to bring me things that I can't reach.
Ah, yes. Yes.
Which I trained Sobby to do relatively quickly.
Yes, you did.
If you'll remember. So I feel there's some hope for the young lad, I mean, I also appreciate that he's much less of a jerk than he used to be. He does not chase small dogs anymore. And he's playing very nicely with my sister, Peace Blossom. He follows her around, but he does not chase her or assault her. So for an Australian Shepherd, that's pretty good, We have low expectations.
Would you like to have an Australian Shepherd join your pack?
No, thank you. We're good.
Why not?
We prefer short dogs here. Yeah. Our human is disturbingly large, and so it's best that the dogs be properly sized as a model for her.
Oh, stop. She's not going to shrink, Hedwig. I mean, she's tall, but, just because you're little doesn't mean she's going to shrink to your size.
Well, I'll have you know that my sister Mustard Seed does request that she smallen every day. And she refuses so far, but Mustard Seed is pretty convincing, so I'm pretty sure smallening is in the offing at some point. I mean, you would smallen if Mustard Seed told you to.
Ah.
She is formidable. Short, very short, even smaller than me.
On behalf of the 2 Australian Shepherds who have been going to your farm for some camp days, I'm very grateful to your hospitality, and you haven't been mean to them. And I thank you, Hedwig, because they've really enjoyed it.
I'm like a little ambassador, aren't I?
Yes, I guess one could say that. Yes.
My goodwill is extraordinary.
It's extraordinary.
So many things about you that are extraordinary, Hedwig. Thank you very much for spending a little time with us this evening.
Have a lovely evening, people. I hope
Bye,
things improve
Hetty.
for you all.
You.
And now it's time for the breed of the show.
So we are at the breed of the show portion, our time, and I have chosen to do it on the papillon. I just think they're the cutest little dogs. I've never had one. I probably will never have one, only because they're very small, but they're super, super, super cute. They're known as the butterfly-eared dog. That's, I guess, what it translates to in French. And they're a smaller dog. They measure up to about 8 to 11 inches at the shoulder, can weigh up to about 10 pounds. So they really are quite small. But they kind of have an interesting history. They were bred to be charming and attentive companions for noble women. and they appear in tons of portraits of queens and princesses. And I have no idea if this is true, but this is just one of the things that I read so Marie Antoinette loved Papillon. So that for sure I know is a thing, but it is said that she was clutching her Papillon pup on her way to the guillotine. Now, if that's true or not, I don't know. Not that the pup went with her, but apparently that's a thing. So they are known as one of the top 10 smartest dogs for trainability and just overall smartness. They have a very, very good temperament, friendly, adventurous. Generally, they're neither shy or aggressive, and they're very good with other pets. They make wonderful family dogs, but because they're smart, like any other dog, you always do better by socializing and doing a lot of training. And because of their intelligence, they're fairly easy to train. But keep in mind, if you get one and you don't train it, then they're going to train themselves, and that could be a bad thing. Yeah. It sounds like something I believe Hetty has done, but I'm not saying.
Yeah,
I'm just going to put that out there. They come in a variety of different colors. I'm just going to name a couple of them, but they come in like white and black, white and lemon, white, black, and tan. And the list kind of goes on and on and on. They also make an excellent watchdog. They're good at alerting anything new in their environment. So that's a good thing. But that also means that they can bark. So something to keep in mind. They're just keep that in mind. Remember, they're smart. I did not know that they were in the top 10 of intelligence. I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. Yeah. But apparently, I mean, you can kind of train them to do anything, but they are, high energy, but they do snuggle, but they're good snugglers and they love to be with their person, but they do need to have exercise. And all of the reading I did said that really just playing with them or, throwing a toy for a little bit is enough to kind of get them active. It's not like you have to, like my Aussies, I have to run all the time. These guys, apparently, if you just play with them just a little bit, they're great to sit on your lap. And honestly, it sounds like they're just such smart little dogs, and they can be taught tons of different things you can do, keeping in mind that they're small, but you can do agility with them. You can do obedience with them. And of course, they can just be a perfect family pet. Other kids and other animals they're good with as well. But I think they sound like good, small watchdogs.
Small watchdogs. Every once in a while on the TV, I will tune into a dog agility, and in the teeny tiny category, you'll see papillons, and apparently they do really, really well at teeny tiny dog agility. So I always thought the papillon was a cool dog because it's the teeny tiny, but for me at least, it lacks the teeny tiny obnoxious, I can't do anything but sit, bark, and pee on the carpet thing. They can do stuff.
Like a Pomeranian.
Yeah. I didn't say that. Oh my gosh. I hope Hetty does listen to the show. That's all I'm going to say. No, I think that they're not like, I don't think they're yappy little dogs. I think that because they're so smart and can be trained, they're not like, they're a toy breed, but they're not like a toy breed because they come from spaniels. So,
I didn't know that.
Which are just, soft and cute. But I think it sounds like they'd be a really great dog. It's just as long as you do a little bit of training with it and kind of direct it to sit on your lap.
I remember watching the Papillon that won Westminster. Maybe this was 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 8 years ago. And his name was something supernatural. And he strutted and moved, and he had so much expression in those wonderful butterfly ears. I thought, now that is a really cool dog.
A dog. Oh, that's funny. Yep, I remember that dog because I think it was a tricolored. I think it was.
Yes.
It was either black and white or black and white. But yeah, but it sounds like they're a good family dog. So something to consider.
And today in Critter Nutrition, we're going to talk about medicinal mushrooms for dogs and horses. I've written a very lengthy article about it. You can find it on biostarus.com. So I'm just going to read you some excerpts to give you a little foundation of what to look for when you're shopping or reading labels on medicinal mushrooms. Medicinal mushrooms have thousands of years of use as therapeutic foods in traditional Chinese medicine, as well as in ancient Greece and Egypt. Now they become increasingly popular in the U.S. for therapeutic use with humans and animals. But with so many companies now including medicinal mushrooms in their supplements or as standalone products, it can be difficult for a consumer to distinguish which is the best choice for my horse or dog. Powder or extract. In traditional Chinese medicine, mushrooms were ground and made into teas, or whole mushrooms were boiled to extract the medicinal components. With the exception of reishi, reserved only for emperors, mushrooms were regularly eaten with rice and grains. The medicinal applications of mushrooms were teas and extracts. Based on the long history of mushrooms in traditional Chinese medicine, mushroom powders are an excellent choice for support, and extracts are best given for therapeutic applications. Water extracts, alcohol extracts, dual extracts. Water extracts of medicinal mushrooms are prepared with a very traditional Chinese process that requires hot water for extracting the water-soluble compounds of the mushroom, such as the beta-glucans. Other compounds, like the triterpenes in reishi and chaga mushrooms, are not water-soluble, requiring extraction via alcohol. Dual extraction includes a hot water extraction and an alcohol extraction to ensure that both water-soluble and non-water-soluble compounds are collected. The benefit of extraction is that the compounds in medicinal mushrooms are now concentrated from 4 to 15 times, depending on which medicinal mushroom is used. Extracts are typically dosed lower than powders due to their increased potency. So far, most of the clinical studies demonstrating health benefits have been conducted with extracts, not powders. Where do mushrooms and supplements come from? China is responsible for 70% of the world's medicinal mushroom production. In 1983, Japan accounted for 82% of the world's production of shiitake. Today, China accounts for 89% of shiitake production, and Japan's share has dwindled to 7.3%. While China has a millennial of experience and expertise in mushroom cultivation and extraction, there are issues with pollution, heavy metals, pesticide residue, depending on the region and variety of mushroom grown. This does not mean a consumer should automatically rule out from China, as most of the highest quality medicinal mushrooms are grown there. There are companies in North America that are growing medicinal mushrooms, but some of these medicinal mushrooms are labeled myceliated grain, which is more grain than mushroom. Mushroom substrates, which are the organic material for the spores to grow on, can be straw, sawdust, oats, rice, and other grains. There is an ongoing dispute among medicinal mushroom companies about which substrate is best. It's clear from the scientific analysis of various mushrooms grown on different substrates that wood is a superior substrate for mushrooms. Wood-grown medicinal mushrooms have measurable active compounds which determine mushroom quality. It makes sense a dog would eat mushrooms, but horses? While none of us can imagine our horses wandering over to munch on some button mushrooms in the pasture, the fact is a mushroom is a fungus, and horses on pasture are consuming fungi all the time, just as they are other soil microorganisms. Fungi and bacteria play important roles in the soil web, helping to deliver nutrients to the roots of plants, as well as digesting the hard-to-break-down soil organics, plant matter like lignin and sugars. Apparently, 80 to 90% of all plants form symbiotic fungi relationships. Fungi prefer perennial plants, such as grasses and legumes that make up our hay and forages. So providing medicinal mushrooms to horses when needed is a kind of synergy in the complex natural world. Sourcing Biostar's mushrooms. Biostar has partnered with a small family company that specializes in dual extract medicinal mushrooms. This small batch approach, carefully prepared by hand, ensures vigorous quality control by people who love medicinal mushrooms. The mushrooms are USDA certified organic. Our mushrooms are grown in China on wood substrates, logs, which are the best substrates to ensure high content of active mushroom compounds such as the beta-glucans, the triterpenoids, and ergosterol. The high content of these compounds also demonstrates low starch content, which is especially important for horses with metabolic issues.
Real horses and real dogs are healthier, perform better, and recover more quickly on real food. That's why Biostar empowers horse and canine owners with 100% whole food nutrition, supplements, and feeding programs. Biostar products are made at their own certified non-GMO facility in Gordonsville, Virginia, using real food ingredients that are raw, freeze-dried, or dehydrated, never cooked, and are free from artificial flavors, colors, soy, corn, wheat, and molasses. The Biostar product line includes a wide range of whole food, horse and dog supplements, treats, and unique artisan poultices that embrace the ancient and traditional uses of clay and plants. Visit biostarus.com today and learn about whole foods and canine and equine nutrition so you can make the best decisions about the care and health of your horses and dogs. That's biostarus.com. Whole food nutrition the way nature intended.
So now we've arrived at Coffee Klatch, and I thought it would be fun, entertaining, and a lot of laughs to match famous musicians with what we think it would be their perfect pet. The musicians we chosen are Snoop Dogg, Bob Dylan, Katy Perry, Beyonce, and Billy Idol. So, a wide variety of musicians, which hopefully will show a wide variety of the kind of pets we think they should have. So I'll start with who I have for Snoop Dogg. When I was thinking about him, I was imagining a chinchilla and a ferret. I figured a chinchilla could be in his pocket and a ferret could be around his neck. I could just see him like strolling around with this ferret on his neck like a collar. So what did you have, Patty?
Well, I went dog. I went all dog. And I just put Affin Pincher. I'm just going to leave it there.
Oh my gosh. That's ideal. Oh my gosh. And if you are not familiar with Affin Pincher, it's AFF is how you begin the Affin Pincher. The rest of it's kind of how it sounds. Look it up and you will understand why we're all laughing right now.
Little lion dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Jennifer?
I went with hedgehog.
So you were in the exotic category.
I was on the exotic. And Snoop Dogg.
Sort of like my chinchilla.
Yes, he's both prickly and cuddly at the same time.
Yes.
Huh.
There we go.
All right. For Bob Dylan, I went with a dog. I went with Bloodhound and Coonhound because I figured he would appreciate their voices.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Okay.
Patty?
I went all dogs. I mean, with all of them, because that's I have three different ones that I could go with, and I went with a Puli.
Wow.
Yeah, just because I don't know. I just thought it's such an odd dog. But or a Spanish water dog or a Swedish Valhund.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it's a little. That's
quite a range.
But it is. But I just felt like that. That's what spoke to me.
Jennifer?
That's funny. I had to look up pictures of Bob Dylan to get an idea. And his face, his facial expression in its totalness. I came up with a Highland cow.
Oh, what? Oh, do they have the hair?
Yes.
Oh, I love them.
It's the hariku. Yes, it's the hariku.
That's perfect.
And yeah, just the sad kind of eyes and the kind of saggy cheeks and crazy hair.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
they're the hippie cow.
They're the hippie cows.
Of the cow.
And they completely own it. They do not apologize for their hippiness.
Yes, no, that's perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Katy Perry. I had either a Himalayan cat or a ragamuffin cat.
Oh. Not a ragamuffin, not a rag doll.
Oh, I think I mean a rag doll.
Well, ragamuffin and rag doll, they're kind of similar. So
she is our breed of show expert. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel she's very cat-ish, and I don't think she would mind the long hair.
Okay, that's funny.
Patty?
I had I did go with one cat, but I also have dogs. So the dogs I'm going to do is Afghan hound. I just thought that was
elegant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or a hairless cat.
Hairless cat.
Oh, I don't see that at all.
Yeah, no, I totally see that.
Of course you do.
Hairless cat. I just, yeah.
Jennifer?
Oh my goodness. For Katy Perry, I went with a pair of raccoons.
Oh!
Not one. A pair.
I thought about a raccoon, but then I thought she probably would not appreciate their antics, meaning their destruction. So that's why I didn't go with raccoon.
They would have an outdoor play yard.
Oh, I see.
How they have the playground equipment for small children? They would have a raccoon version of that. It would be all the latest and greatest. It would have little swings and the little parallel bars and the little merry-go-round, all for raccoons.
Oh, I would like to be there.
Yes, I want to be her raccoon.
Okay, Beyonce. I had a Shih Tzu or a Yorkie.
Oh, that's so funny.
Patty, what did you have?
So the ones I chose is because I feel like they are substantial dogs, but good looking and very athletic. So I went with an Akita or a Bouvier de Flanders.
Ooh, that's one of my favorite dogs. I love those.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Boy, we went for a different scale. I went for little and you went for big.
Yeah. I don't know why because I just was thinking something that is attractive but athletic.
Yeah, interesting.
I actually lean more towards the Akita. I'm just saying.
Jennifer?
So for Beyonce, I went a very different direction. Beyonce has lovebirds.
Oh, she does?
Yes. No, that's what she has in my little world.
Bigger. Do you remember how this started?
Yeah. Because
That's funny.
lovebirds, I learned this when I worked for a large pet store chain, that lovebirds are beautiful and elegant, but they're also very, very smart and very, very strong when they bite down on your finger.
Ow!
Yes.
Oh.
So that just made me think of Beyonce. She's gorgeous and beautiful. It's like, oh, isn't she pretty? But hiding beneath all that, oh, isn't she pretty? Is like, don't you cross me or I bite your finger off.
I'm gonna bite you.
And I'm way smarter than you think. So I'm going to watch you open that cage door 3 or 4 times and I'm going to figure it out for myself. And I'm not going to be in here when you come home.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, our last one is Billy Idol. And I went with a sugar glider or a capuchin monkey.
Oh, yeah. much. That's good.
Oh my, that's funny.
Or even a spider monkey would be good. Yeah, that's good.
Patty?
Again, I stayed in the dog thing. I went with an American Leopard Hound.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because the thing is that they, again, athletic looking, streamlined. They're attractive? Question mark.
Attractive is a relative word. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean they're attractive? Question mark. So there you go.
Jennifer?
Ring-tailed lemur.
Oh, we were right in the
Same family.
Yeah.
Sugar glider, lemur,
Yeah.
monkey.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we're all very similar there.
I think he would definitely be in the exotic realm.
Exotic, attractive? Question mark. Yeah.
And kind of cool.
Kind of cool. It's like, ooh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. May I introduce you to my lemur?
Yes.
Larry.
Oh my God. Larry.
That's funny.
And I love that because you would never introduce that pet as, let me introduce you to Larry the lemur. No, it's always, let me introduce you to my lemur, Larry.
Yes, exactly.
It has to be that way. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the laugh. Oh my.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
If you have any suggestions for these celebrities, you can send us a postcard. Biostar US, 1 Cleveland Street, Gordonsville, Virginia, 22942.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks to our sponsor, Biostar US. You can find them online at biostarus.com.
Get the Horse Radio Network phone app on iOS or Android by searching for Horse Radio Network in the App Store. It's free and easy to use.
For details about today's show, go to healthycrittersradio.com, where you can find links, photos, and more information about our guests.
As always, we love your feedback. Please follow us on Facebook under Healthy Critters Radio.
Be sure to visit all the great shows on Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com.
Love your dog.
Hug your horse.
Feed your chickens.
Clean your litter box.
Dance with your goat.
Slither with your snakes.
Howl at the moon.
Hang with your hamster.
Party with your parrot.
Waddle with your walrus.
Outwit your otter.
Cuddle your cows.
Rap with your raptor.
Go chipping with your chipmunks.
Forgive your fox.
While hedging your hog.
We also recommend that you rack with your raccoon.
Gyrate with your giraffe.
Meditate with a meerkat.
Uber with your orangutan.
Facebook with your flamingo.
Ponder with your panda.
Walk with your Wookiee.
Yawn with your yak.
Twitter with your toucan.
Go raining with your reindeer.
Dropbox your dragon.